Hello all, welcome to part 35 of TestNG training series. In this session, I'm going to explain and practically demonstrate the different return types of data provider methods. So let's get started. Till now, till the previous session, we have used a two-dimensional object array as a return type of the data provider. For example, if I show this Eclipse ID to you, where we have this sample script created as part of one of the previous sessions. There is a test method and there is a data provider method. If you clearly observe this data provider method, it is returning you some data. The data type of this data is two-dimensional object type. Okay, two-dimensional object class type. You see, what is the return type of this data provider method? Two-dimensional object array. Okay, and then we are receiving the data to this test method. But is this the only way or only return type using which the data provider can pass the data to the test method? The answer is no, guys. There are multiple ways. What are those multiple ways using which we can return the data from the data provider method to the test methods? There are multiple ways. So here are the types. We can use two-dimensional object array. We can use single dimensional object array. We can use Iterator of object as a return type. We can also use Iterator of object array as a return type. These are the other ways of returning the data from the data provider methods to the test methods. So in this session, I'm going to practically show you how to use these types. Okay. I'm going to practically show you how to use these types. Okay. I'll not take any realistic Selenium example or something, but I'll create some sample test methods, sample data provider methods which can pass the data to these test methods, and I'll use simple print statements rather, okay, instead of writing the Selenium code, so that here focus should be on the concept, not rather than on Selenium automation or something, guys. So I'll go with this. So here, guys, I'll close this class, okay. I'll create a new class. I'll just name this class as demo class, guys. Click on finish. And first I'll create a test method which can receive the data from the data provider methods. Public void sample test, I'll say, as usual, and I'll convert this normal method into a test method using TestNG annotation. Import this, done. Then what else? Have to parameterize, right? Have to parameterize. I'll say string a comma string b, okay, string a comma string b, like this, and here I'll print it out saying system.out.println a plus some hyphen plus b, okay, some sample data I have written. So who is going to pass the data to this test method? For that, I have to create a data provider method. So this is an example for the first type, which I already covered as part of the previous sessions. That is a two-dimensional object array. Public void, okay, data supplier, I will say, data supplier. And here I'll provide the annotation known as data provider annotation. Hover the mouse on the data provider and import this. And then here I'll just give a name to this data provider, that is supplier, I'll say. Supplier, I'll copy the supplier. And here I'll create a data provider annotation attribute, sorry, data provider attribute, and provide the, I'll connect the this name of the data provider here. Okay, now these two test method and data provider are connected, guys. Data provider E will now supply the data to the test method, but in which form the data supplier method has to decide. First we'll try to return the data in the form of two-dimensional object array. So I'll create a two-dimensional object array, guys, like this. Data is equal to, here I'll create a two-dimensional object array, shortcut representation of a two-dimensional object array. So three sets of data I want to send. So in the first set, I'll give my first name Arun and last name Motori. And in the second set, I'll give first name Varun, last name Dawat. And in the third set, I'll give first name as Tarun. Okay. Two counts of data for every set of data is there, guys. Okay, as you already know. Here Bhaskar, I will say Tarun Bhaskar. Done. Okay. Now if I say return data, it is nothing but we are returning a two-dimensional object array type of data. So here also the return type should be changed to two-dimensional object array. Now what happens in this format is when you return the data in the form of two-dimensional object array, this particular, there are two counts of data here. The first data will go and fall into this A automatically, and the second data will go and fall into this B. The first test will run. The same test will run for second time. Second set of data will be activated where data provider will pass Varun to A and Dawat to B. And in the third run of the test method, okay, sample test method, Tarun will pass to A and Bhaskar will be passed to B. And here, as usual, the print statement will print those data. Okay. Now run this case. Run this. You'll see that the test method will run 3 times for each and every set of data here. That is 3 sets of data. Okay, and we are returning the data in the form of a two-dimensional object array. Okay, this is one of the type of returning the data to a test method from the data provider method. As you can see here, it was very fast and Arun Moturi, Arun-Moturi, Varun Dawat, Tarun Bhaskar, 3 tests got run. You can clearly see here sample test method got executed 3 times. Every time it got executed with different set of data. Fine. So this you already know, guys. Okay, this you already know. Okay. So next thing is single dimensional object array. Okay. So what if here I have only one parameter, string A. I don't have multiple parameters. I just have single parameter. And here I want to return only single dimensional object array. Here also I want to create the single dimensional object array. Single dimensional object array will only be like this, right? So here I'll say Arun, Varun, Tarun, Naveen, Gopal. I can give a different names, guys. Okay, I can give different names. Okay, 5 sets of data are there now. Okay, how many sets of data are there? Arun is one set of data. Varun is second set of data. Tarun, Naveen, Gopal. For every set of data, here we are not passing a two-dimensional object array. We are returning a single dimensional object array. That means only one data will be sent. Arun, the data provider will supply Arun to this test method. Test method will run first time where Arun will be passed to A and Arun will be printed. And then the again data provider will invoke this, will pass this Varun to the test method and done. Okay, Tarun, then Naveen, then Gopal. How many times this method will be running? 5 times. Okay. Here single dimensional object array, guys. When you have to pass the single values, you can go for single dimensional object array. Okay. You see Arun, Varun, Tarun, Naveen, Gopal. How many tests? 5 tests. 5 tests got run, 5 tests got passed. And if you can see here, the sample test method got run 5 times. Okay. Every time a different set of data. So hope you understood two-dimensional object array return type from the data provider method and also single dimensional object array return type from the data provider method. Now let's go with the iterator of object return type. Okay. So what I will do here is I will say, yeah, I'll just change it to void for now so that I have to start from scratch. So here I'll say list of object. I will say list of object type. It can store any data. This list can store any data. That's the reason. List is equal to new array list. I will say array list. Okay, array list. Here I have to provide less than greater than symbol. This collections framework in Java, guys. If you already know, you understand this list and array list concepts. Import this. Done. Now I can say list dot add of. I'll just give my name here, Arun. Okay. Then list dot add of. I'll just give a number, say 9. Because it is object, right? It can store Arun. It can store all the strings. It can add all the strings into the list, or it can have different data types also. List dot add of let's say Boolean value. Okay. So 3 sets of data are already there. I'll simply say return list. Return list. Okay. And here I'll say list of object. List of object. But this is not correct approach, guys. I'll tell you why. Okay. So here different data types are there. So here better to provide instead of string, we have to provide object here, because sometimes you are getting string, sometimes you are getting number, sometimes you are getting Boolean. Means you cannot go with string parameter here. Object class parameter we have to provide, but still it will not work. Still it will not work, guys. Okay, there is the reason. So why it is not working, we'll find out from the error, and after the error is displayed, I'll explain you what you have to change here. Okay, run this, you will get a TestNG exception. You see, TestNG exception, as I mentioned, got. You see, what it is saying is data supplier, that is data provider method, must return any of these 4 return types. it should be either return type should be either a two-dimensional object array, return type should be either a single dimensional object array, or return type should be a iterator of object array or iterator of object. Okay, but here what is the return type? List of object. You cannot return the list. It is saying clearly you have to return the iterator. How to return the iterator? If you say list means the data type of the list is list.object, list of object. It can only return the list of object. But how can you return the iterator of object? You see, in collections framework, if you know properly, either this list or hash set or array list or hash set or whatever it is, they have a, using the object reference, you can call a method known as iterator method. The return type of this iterator method is iterator interface. So here now I can say iterator of object. Over the mouse, import this iterator interface from Java. Done. Now the return type is matching. You see, the third return type is iterator of object. So either list or set, whatever we can use. We cannot return list or set, guys. Okay, the object reference of the list of or set, we cannot make that as a return type. Rather, we have to return the iterator of object. How can you do that? List dot iterator you have to say. Okay, this list dot iterator or set dot iterator you have to say. The return type of this iterator, if you hover the mouse, you see is iterator interface. So iterator of object will be there. Now it will work fine. Now it will print, guys. These objects will be taken into consideration because the return type is matching. The data provider method can now pass data to this test method, and things will be working fine. Okay, run this. Now we'll not get that exception. You see, different types of data. Arun 9 true got printed 3 times. The test got run because here Arun is one set of data, 9 is another set of data, true is another set of data. Sample test method got executed 3 times. First time it got executed with string data type. Okay, object will take anything. So 9 integer data type and third boolean data type. Since object class is there here, it can consider any type of data, as you already know from the previous sessions. Okay, this is one thing. Okay, now one more thing is there. What is that? Another thing here, set is also there, guys. We can also go with the set. What if I just clear all this stuff and just change it to void, and in the form of set I want to return the data? Let's see what will happen. So I'll say set of object, set is equal to new hash set. Okay, in collections we have also a hash set concept. Okay, which will store the data in the random format. Okay, the like unlike array list will store the data in a sequential fashion. Okay, the first when you say a list dot add, right, that element will be stored in the index 0 and all. Here indexing concept will not be there, and the data will be stored in the hash set in the form of random format. Import this hash set from Java. First of all, anyhow, go to the basics of Java, guys. If you are not good with Java, you can go with my other videos on Java and get some knowledge on this collections and all if you are new to that concept. Okay, now simply I'll say set dot add. Here same add is there, but you see it will not store at the first location. It may store at any different location. Okay, I'll give Arun here. Arun may not be stored at the first location in the memory. Okay, it may be in random order, guys. Set is all about surprises because we don't know it in which order it will be stored. Okay, sometimes it may store in the same order, sometimes it may store in the random order. Okay, I'll give different names here. Five sets of data I'm giving here, but this is a hash set. It's not a list, guys. It is a hash set. Okay, object of the hash set is assigned to the variable of the set interface. Okay, so here I can keep it empty or I can keep it object also, no problem. Anything is fine. Now return the data, guys. Return. Now return. Now return this. Return. If I say set, guys, that's the problem. Okay, if I say return set, that is the problem. So if I say set of object, again the same error will come. Okay, if I say set of object, the same error will come, guys. The reason behind that is, okay, the reason behind that is, you know, right? Only four return types are possible. That is two-dimensional object array, single dimensional object array, iterator of object, or iterator of object array. But here we are trying to return a set of object, which is not possible. You will get the error. TestNG exception will come saying that data provider cannot have a return type of set of object. Okay, data supplier or data provider must return only any of these 4 types. Okay, so then what I will do? Same thing. Whatever we have done with the list, we have to do the same thing, guys. Set dot iterator we have to call. Okay, even set using the object reference of the set interface. Also, we can call this iterator method whose return type is iterator. Okay, here iterator. Just see the errors are gone. The return type of this iterator method is iterator interface, guys. Iterator of object is accepted. You know that. The output, as you can see, iterator of object is acceptable for this as a return type. Now this is going to work, guys, but the order may not be same, guys. Okay, so this data provider may not pass Arun as the first set of data. Okay, or Varun as a second set of data. We don't know. The order may change. Okay, run this. Let's see whether Arun, Varun, Tarun, Bhaskar, Gopal are coming in the same order or different order. Let's see. You see, they are not coming in the same order like a array list. You see, Tarun is coming first. Arun was in the first position, but Tarun is coming first now. Bhaskar, Arun, Varun, Gopal. Okay, that's what is the difference between the list and set asset. Okay, random order they will be stored, and the random order the data will be passed to the test method. 5 times it got uh, 5 times it got you know, right, it got run. Let me run it again. Run this. Let's see the TestNG results here. Sample test method got run 5 times, each time with different set of data, but the data has not been passed in the same sequential order. Rather, it has been passed in a random order to the test methods. First, Tarun got executed, then Bhaskar, then Arun got passed, then Varun got passed, then Gopal got passed. Okay, there is a difference between the array list and hasset. Okay, random order is a hasset. Fine. Now, finally, we came to something known as iterator of object array. Okay, here how many counts of data for every set of data is there? Only one count is there. But if you want to have multiple counts of data for every set of data you want to pass to this, then what I have to do? Then guys, have to go with here. I'll just change it to list for a while. Okay, list is easy compared to this. Array, I'll say array list of object. Okay, instead of object, I'll say that as object array. Here also object array, I'll say. Okay, now here I'll say list, guys, list dot add of here I want to pass an object array. Okay, that means I have to say something like this: new object array having the values as multiple values. You can have single value also, that's fine. Motori. Okay, now here list dot add of. Okay, the return type is going to be the iterator of object array, guys. Okay, you'll see that. Okay, I'll say change it to wide for now. Here I'll say new object. So multiple counts of data for every set of data if you want, then Varun, Dawat. Okay, just close the array. Tarun. Again the same thing, guys. New object array. Curly braces Tarun, Bhaskar. Tarun, Bhaskar. Then I think this much is enough, guys. Okay, 3 sets of data, but all the 3 sets of data have 2 counts of data. Okay, for every set of data, there are 2 counts. That means this test method will be called 3 times by the data provider method, and every time it will pass Arun and Moturi here. And here also I'll say object A, object B, because 2 are there. If there are many values here, then you can say you can actually create an object array here, and because creating that many number of parameters may not be good. You already know this concept from the previous sessions I covered, guys. Okay, when you have more elements, okay, count of data in the set is data set is higher, that is 10 or more, like 50, 10, 25, like that. In that case, you should not be doing like this. You have to create an object array. But here only 2 is there. That's fine, guys. We can create 2 parameters. That's not a big deal. Okay, here I'll say list dot iterator, same thing, list dot iterator only. But what is the return type? Change the return type to iterator of object. What is the return type of iterator? Iterator interface. This iterator method. This is the return type of the iterator method. Method is iterator interface, and it should be object array. It's not simple object. It is an object array. You are returning iterator of object, not just object, guys. You are returning object array. Okay, object array. For every item, you are passing an object array. 2 values are there. This Arun will go into A and Motori will go into B. No matter what type of data you are passing, that doesn't matter. So the return type here is iterator of object array. That is last return type of the data provider that I wanted to explain as part of these sessions. Okay. Like this, you have to add the list dot add and return that, and return type will be also iterator of object array. Okay, as you can see here. Now run this. The test method will be running 3 times, and Arun. So, but I am not printing B there. Okay, only Arun, Varun, Tarun got printed because the problem was the print statement, guys. Here I have to give some hyphen or something and say plus B so that you can would have seen the difference. Or space is also fine, but hyphen will be better for now so that you can differentiate the count of the data. Run this. Now Arun hyphen Motori, Varun hyphen Dawat, Tarun hyphen Bhaskar will be printed. Okay. Arun Motori, Varun Dawat, Tarun Bhaskar. 3 tests. You see? Sample test, Arun Motori, Varun Dawat, Tarun Bhaskar is the data. Okay. So I have demonstrated all the different return types that the data provider can return the data by using which. Okay. The test method can receive the data from the data provider methods. Okay, these are the 4 ways in which there is not only a single way, guys. Everyone thinks that there is only 2-dimensional object array in which we have to pass the data to the test method from the data provider method. But everyone is wrong, guys. There are other ways using which we can pass the data to the test method, that is single dimensional object array, or it can be iterator of object, or it can be iterator of object array also. Okay, these are the different ways. And in case of in place of this object array, 2-dimensional object array, you can keep string 2-dimensional object array, string integer single dimensional object array. The data types doesn't matter, guys. Okay, if you want to store different type of data, then you are going for object class. Here in place of the object class, you can use wrapper classes or string class, whatever it is. Okay, here also iterator of string can be there, iterator of integer wrapper class can be there. Here iterator of integer array wrapper class can be there. That's all up to your creativity. Okay, what you want to pass and how you want to restrict the data, that's all up to you. Okay. So with this, guys, we are done with this session where I practically demonstrated the different return types of data provider via which the data providers can pass or return the data to the test methods in different ways. So that's all for this session. In the next session, I'm going to cover another TestNG topic for you. Till then, see you. Bye bye.